Hey curl friends, it's Mickey B, and it's time to energize and moisturize. We're gonna energize and moisturize our hair as well as energize our soul. I thought it would be cool to do a video while moisturizing my hair. In this case, I'm gonna be deep conditioning it in the form of moisturization, putting moisture back in there. I washed my hair last night, and I just did a water wash last night. I did not want to strip it or co-wash or anything like that. I wanted to just do a quick, simple water wash and then put some moisture back in it today. When it's time to do my hair, I sometimes I don't feel like doing it. I don't know. It's kind of old. It's not new anymore. So that honeymoon phase is over with my hair. Sometimes I need some type of encouragement. It's kind of like when you want to go to the gym, you want to work out, but sometimes you need some encouragement. So you go to the gym and you see other people working out and it kind of gets you in the groove a little better. That's what I'm hoping to do with this Energize and Moisturize. I'm going to record me moisturizing and energizing my hair, and then while we do that, or while I do that, then I also want to talk to you about something to hopefully help energize your soul. So you get two things out of it. If you're someone who doesn't feel like doing your hair and you kind of want somebody to do it with kind of thing, or to talk to somebody, or just to feel a secondary something in the background and it's not just you in the bathroom bored, because sometimes I'll do that too. I'll want to do my hair and I'm like, I don't just want to do it in silence. I don't want to listen to any music. So I'll go find a video on YouTube, somebody who talks a long time. That's the only time I look for long videos, is when I'm doing my hair and I'm looking for, and I don't really care too much about the content. I mean, if it's good content, that's great. But at that point, there are certain people that I subscribe to who just talk about current events and different things, just so that I can have something going on in the background to keep me motivated to do my hair. So having said all that, I thought I want to do this segment called Energize and Moisturize throughout the summer mostly, and then to just carry it on if you guys like this segment. And we'll talk about different things, anything. You could even suggest things that you would like to talk about. The Energize part comes from, I got this little ceramic jar, and it's like this, and inside of this jar are a bunch of little pieces of paper, and it's a whole bunch of them, and on each piece of paper it's a little scripture or a little saying, a little quote or something. So I thought every time I do an Energize and Moisturize video, the energizing of the soul would come. I will pick the first one and I will read it, and then we'll talk about this scripture and try to apply it to our everyday lives. And so that's how we'll energize our souls, and then from there we can apply it to real life situations, and we can also talk about other things, because I'm sure it will evolve to other things. That's where we're going to get the energizing part for our soul. The energizing for our hair today, for my hair today, is going to come from the Shea Moisture Deep Treatment Mask. I'm going to put this on, and then I'm going to put on my heat cap, and I'm going to sit under that for probably about 30 minutes. Let's get started. I like to do this with gloves so that all the product doesn't get under my fingernails. And then a couple of clips. You know, we gotta have our clips. We're gonna start off by energizing our souls to give us some fuel to start talking. And I'm also gonna talk about my hair too and different things going on. But let's just start off on a positive note. And these are double-sided cards. So this side is not the one I'm reading this side. So the first card that I pulled out says, "Without a talent nurtured and perfected, the finest instrument would stand silent." So I'll read it again. It says, "Without a talent, comma, nurtured and perfected, comma, the finest instrument would stand silent." So what does that mean to me? Without a talent nurtured and perfected, the finest instrument would stand silent. So what I'm getting from that is, if you have something wonderful to give to the world, and you don't nurture it and use it and allow it to help others, if that's the type of talent that it is, then it would just go unnoticed. Another example, if you had a flower or a rose or something that could blossom into a beautiful flower, not a rose but a plant that could blossom into a beautiful flower, and you never water it, you never fertilize it, and you just ignore it, you don't do anything, you know, you don't nurture it and give it love and care and try to grow it, develop it, it just will never be noticed in the world. That's like a beautiful flower that the world would never get to see. So how can we apply this to everyday life, everyday situations? I know the perfect example. Janaea, my daughter, for those of you who don't know, she's in college now and she's majoring in communications, minoring in Spanish. I'm gonna segue real quick because I'm gonna get my gloves on so I can start doing my hair while I'm talking, because that's the whole point. What I was saying about Janaea is she's in college, she's majoring in communications with a minor in Spanish. She really has a strong interest in learning other languages. Always, well, I won't say always has, but she's had this interest for a very long time. And I don't know where it came from, but she really wants to learn. She's starting off with Spanish and she wants to eventually learn other languages. Now, she's a junior, she just finished her junior year, and she knows how to, well, she's learned some Spanish. She knows, I wouldn't say she's 100% bilingual, but she's learning it. She knows it pretty well, and she can speak it. She speaks it very well, actually. She can get all those riffles and, you know, how they roll the tongue and all that. She can do all that stuff very well. But she has a fear or an insecurity, if you will, of speaking Spanish out loud. Now, I know that makes absolutely no sense, because I said, okay, I mean, and when I say she has been interested in this for a long time, like crazy. I want to do this, I want to be an interpreter, you know, this is not some whim desire. And for her to go so far as to major in it, and then to take 3 years worth of study. She even took some Spanish in high school, so it's even been more than 3 years, and she is afraid to speak it. So when we go out in public and we're in situations where I think, okay, this would be a good time for you to try to talk to them in Spanish, she's like, no. I mean, she's told me she's had moments where in class she's freaked out, kind of, if she had to speak it out loud. So you want to become bilingual, but you're afraid to speak it. I'm like, I'm not comprehending. But apparently, this isn't too far-fetched. I've talked to other people who were Hispanic, and they've told me it's because they feel like they sound stupid or that people will laugh at them, so they're afraid to speak it. And you know how when people are speaking, like people who don't speak English, and then they try to speak English and they almost sound like baby-like, like elementary, that type of thing. And they don't want to, they feel like well, in this case, some of them might feel like we think they're stupid or retarded. Kind of goes back to when you were a kid and you were scared to read out loud in class. I wasn't, but I know some people didn't like that because you felt like you were going to be picked on. Well, it's the same thing. However, let's get it back to the quote. She is very good at speaking it. She has a strong desire to speak it. Something has put it in her to speak it. When she does speak it, they compliment her on how well she speaks it, and people are always surprised that she can speak Spanish. So I have told her, you're gonna have to start using it. I mean, what is the point? If you don't nurture this and develop it, how do you expect to get better? And how do you ever expect the world to respond to you the way that you want them to respond to you, or to just get the benefit of being able to help someone in a situation who doesn't speak English You know, how are you ever planning to develop that and get to where you want to be? This is a dream of yours, but yet you're scared to nurture it and develop it so that you can fulfill that dream that you have. So that kind of ties in to the quote that if you don't nurture it, it will go silent. So no one will ever hear how well you can speak Spanish, and you won't get the enjoyment of doing something that you truly want to do. And that's another thing. If it's something that you really want to do, but you let, for whatever reason that you don't nurture it, I'm using fear kind of, because I guess the common denominator that I'm seeing in all of my examples that I can use as to why someone would not nurture a talent that they had. But if a talent, a dream, it would just go silent. If there's something that you can do and you really want to do it, or God has given you this talent to do, you don't have to always use it in a manner that would make you unhappy using it. You can find a way to use it where it can help people, or it can be a benefit to people out there who may be in need of whatever talent you possess. But if you never develop it, nurture it, and use it, then no one will ever know. And the most common one is people who can sing, but they don't sing because they're kind of scared or nervous. And we know that music is therapy for a lot of people. So that's a very common one, and for whatever reason, there are so many people out there who can sing, it's ridiculous. But you wouldn't know it just to pass people in passing every day, because everybody doesn't utilize that gift. So, and it doesn't always have to be for money, because I know a lot of people don't want the fame and it's like, you don't have to use it for that. I mean, you could go sing to some senior citizens who are just feeling left out. People get older, their families stop visiting them. I mean, they feel like nobody cares. You could go sing to people like that once a week. So it's a... Alright, my camera ran out of memory. My memory card ran out of memory. So I had to go and erase a few things, a bunch of things actually, that I had already downloaded. And now I forgot what I was talking about. That's why I hate when that happens. Oh, I think I was getting ready to segue into people not using and nurturing their talents because of a fear or something that might be keeping them from it. And I was about to, I think that I'm pretty sure I was going to share with you one of the fears I had when I was younger growing up. I was really, really quiet and really, really shy, and I still have that part of me still inside of me. It comes out from time to time. I have a really quiet spirit. I'm really just kind of monotone spirit. I mean, I can have high energy, but it will wear off naturally. I don't drink. I don't use any additional enhancements to get turned up, if you will. So I have a natural high, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I am a quiet spirit, and I always have been. I like alone time, and I like being with people. Basically, I like balance. I don't like being around people all the time, and I don't like being by myself all the time. So I just like balance, the yin and the yang. But when I was younger, I was really quiet and shy, and I always wanted to just be more of an outgoing person when I was younger, because I was so quiet and shy. And I know people didn't really like that. They didn't really want to hang out with somebody who was quiet and shy. And that's who I was, though. I couldn't help. That's who I was. That's just how I was born. Those were the cards that I was dealt. That's the personality that I had. But I myself had a desire to be, you know, more outgoing. And so I was always drawn to people and friends who were like that, who were like how I wanted to be. I noticed that I always thought that that was so cool, that they were so outgoing and had all this energy, and you know, that they were that type of person. And I kind of wanted to be like that, but I couldn't just be like that. I was myself. So what ended up happening was, when I went off to college, I said, okay, I had a epiphany one day, and I just realized out of the blue that if you do not, and this is me at, how was I? How old was I? I think I was 18 years old. Somewhere in the college range. I went off to college right at 18. So I left home, and I'm from Northern California. So I left home to come to Southern California. I went to UCLA, and I had really no, what's the word? No business trying to do that in the shape that I was in. I was so insecure, and it was crazy. So after, somewhere during my freshman year, I realized that, you know what? If you don't do something about who you are and change who you are, or do something about it, all the things that you want to do, you're not going to do it. You just, again, the life is going to pass you by. I just got so tired of sitting in the background. And this is me telling myself that. And one of the things I wanted to do, I wanted to act. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a newscaster. I wanted to, what was the other thing? Oh, sing. I wanted to be a singer. I loved singing at the time. You know, I used to, at home, go on the fireplace, the hearth of the fireplace, and get my little microphone made out of a spoon or something and sing all the time. I did that all the time, but when people were around, I just couldn't. I was so shy and so quiet and so insecure that I couldn't do it in front of people. Still can't, really. I mean, I've tried on a couple of videos, but you see I always have to have on some sunglasses or something hiding my eyes. So it's still a little bit in me, but I've conquered it a little bit, and I'll tell you what I did to conquer it, or to help try and conquer that fear that prevented me from nurturing my talent. Or, I'm not saying talent like I'm like Beyonce or somebody like that, but what little talent I was graciously given to nurture that talent. So what I did was, in college, I took a speech class. And I said, you know, I need to conquer this fear that I have of speaking in front of people, because that was another issue which kind of carried over into all the other things that I wanted to do, involved being in front of people. And if I couldn't be in front of people, I mean, like I say, a lot of the things that I thought that I wanted to do, I would never have been able to do. So therefore, I signed up and I took the speech class, and it was very helpful. And that's when I learned how to speak well in front of others, and how to not do things that are distracting. That's when I learned about the filler words and the habits you have when you're talking. You're banging, some people clap, and you do all this stuff that you're not even aware of, and it's just because you're uncomfortable and you're trying to work that discomfort out through your body and through just using words. And they're called empty words because you're not saying anything. And for people who are sitting down listening to you, it distracts from what you're truly trying to say. So I took that class and I enjoyed it, actually. It helped some with the fear. So then from there, while in college, I took tap dance lessons, because UCLA, they had some of everything there. The one thing that I liked about that school, they offered some of everything that you would have never have thought to do before. So I took tap lessons, and that was fun. I took was it a dance class? I think it was a dance class, but we learned a lot about theater. We didn't really dance. I can't remember, but I remember I learned the origins of makeup and why makeup evolved where people wear it to the thickness, at least from the theater perspective anyways. And the reason how the makeup that all these gurus use today, let me get this piece of hair off of here. The reason or why that evolved to where people would even wear it, it wasn't just, well, from what I learned now, I know somebody else might have learned something different, but from what I learned, it wasn't just to be beautiful. From the theater perspective, or a stage Broadway type of theater perspective, it evolved because when people went to the theater and they had seats that were further back, they looked flat. They had no dimension to them. So they started to use makeup to bring out the dimension. So when you think of the, what do they guys call it? Toning, shaping, what's the word? You know what I'm talking about when you do the shadowing and all that. It's just slipped out of my head. I hate when this happens. But anyways, you know what I'm talking, like defining and toning. But there's a word that you guys use that I know what the word is and I can't think of it. Oh, it's driving me crazy. I hate when this happens. See, now I can't. Anyway, I'm gonna try to move on and come back to it. Hopefully it'll pop into my head. But when they use it to, ooh. Anyways, to give dimension, sculpting, is that the word I'm thinking? Anyways, let me stop. I said I would stop. If I stop, then it'll pop into my head a little easier. So that's what the origination of all that heavy makeup started with, where they got to that real thick foundation, and it's almost like the, what do they call the transvestite type of guys that they say they use it on really thick. That evolved from what I learned in the theater, and it was to give people dimension, so the people in the back would see a real person and it didn't look like just a flat one-sided character on the stage. So anyways, I took that class, and I think it was under a dance class, but we didn't really dance. I can't remember, that was a while ago. I was 18 years old. But nonetheless, so I took that class, I took tap, I took the speech class, I taught an aerobics class, and then when I graduated UCLA, I entered a couple of pageants, and in the and then I took voice lessons. But all of this would not have evolved, would not have been developed had I not conquered that fear and just decided to go ahead and face it, and just, because it was handicapping me. I wasn't enjoying my life. I'm a person that, like, now I do some of everything. I love doing and learning different things. But the person that I was before I had that epiphany, I would have never done all these things because I was so afraid to be in front of people and to speak in front of people. I thought people would just laugh and make fun of me and nitpick everything, and some people do. But that's just a moment in time, and if you give that power over you, then that's something you're doing to yourself. But people's words only have the power that you give them. So I don't want to get off of today's topic as far as nurturing that talent, but I wanted to bring that up because as a result of nurturing what little talents that I had, I have become a person who has experienced a lot and have helped a lot of people. And one thing that I found that I did not know is that, this is my assessment, you don't have to agree with me, but I know me better than you, so I feel like I'm correct when I say that I feel like I am a teacher, and I didn't realize, or that was never something that I aspired to be, is a teacher. I do teach. I teach a class on couponing, and I teach a class on how to become a live scan operator, because that's what I do. One of the things that I do, I should say. So I do teach. I used to teach at the community colleges, but I pulled back just a little bit, but I do private classes now. And I'm also going to start look into teaching some notary classes, because I do that because I find teaching very rewarding, and I find it fun to be in front of people. And as a result of the classes that I have taught and the private instruction, because I do, I'm an independent contractor with a company where I go out to different companies and I install systems and I train people on how to use those systems. So it's still, the teaching aspect comes in there into play there as well. But I find that when it's something that I know and I'm interested in, and it's a subject matter that I've enjoyed and mastered, then I am an amazing teacher, because teaching is just sharing. All it is sharing. But if you can't speak in front of people and you don't have confidence in your ability to do that, there is so much that I would not have even done in my life as a result of it, because being in front of people is a huge part of, or just being able to relate to people and being in front of them is a huge part of a lot of the things that I wanted to do. So that was something that I forced myself to do. I didn't like to look people in the eye when I talked to them. I talked to people like this, and I looked everywhere, or I looked down. Just huge signs of insecurity. But the thing was, while I was that way, I didn't like being that way. So nurturing my talent has allowed me to enjoy my life, allowed me to do a lot of the things that I wanted to do but wasn't doing, and it's allowed me to help a lot of people. And I have helped a lot of people, and I'm not trying to sound like, oh, braggadocious or anything like that, but I have helped a lot of people just through sharing, and I enjoy that. I enjoy helping people, and I know that's a direct result of nurturing that talent. So that's all I have to say about today's message. If you guys have a talent that you feel like you didn't nurture and then decided to go ahead and nurture and develop it and benefit from it, leave me your story in the comments section. Let me know if this was something that enhanced your life, because I think a lot of people don't realize that you can prevent yourself from doing a lot of things, and it's on you. It's not on anybody else, it's on you. Don't get caught up in that. So if you had a story like that, share it with me. I'm sure people hearing other stories can benefit as well, just from hearing that they're not by themselves, they're not alone. A lot of people think they're the only ones who go through stuff sometimes. I used to think that. But as you get older, and this is for the youngins, because I know my well-seasoned folks know what's up, but for you youngins, you are not the first and you're not the last to go through pretty much anything you're going through. Everybody's gone through something like you, on the same level, or on a maybe a heavier or a lighter, but a lot of times people understand more than you know what you're going through in life. So being able to communicate and work through things will only benefit you, and not dealing with things will stunt your growth, and it will stunt your enjoyment in life if you don't learn how to work through animosities in your life. So developing a talent can lay into that, because through that talent, whatever you want to do that you think you're not doing it or it's not happening, it might come through that talent. So like Nike says, just do it. Just do it. You know, things come from through other things. If you don't give God something to work with, He's giving you something to work with it. But if you don't use it and you want to get somewhere and you feel like you're not getting there, maybe it's that talent that He's giving you to work with that's going to take you through those channels to get you where you want to be, or where you need to be. And sometimes we don't even know where we need to be. What I'm doing right now in my life is nothing that I ever thought I would be doing. I hadn't even heard of live scan until I became a notary. And anyways, I could talk all day, as you see. I like to talk about things that are positive, that are beneficial, and that will help people. So hopefully your soul is a little bit more energized from that discussion. And as you can see, let's talk about this hair a little bit since I'm almost done. If you guys have been moisturizing your hair along with me, then when I do this in other videos, I'm going to do it just from strictly a moisturizing standpoint and not a deep conditioning standpoint. But because I'm getting ready to do my deep condition, I want to make sure that the hair is saturated in all areas, and I like to make sure I can feel it on my scalp as well. Now you guys can see I have some gray hair taken over, and that gray hair can be very rough and coarse and feel very dry sometimes. So especially because I color my hair too, so that's a double whammy on the dryness. It's already dry from loss of pigmentation, and then I'm putting color on it. Now I haven't used heat in my hair in a very long time, and I have really no plans to do so anytime soon. And I feel like it's pointless because my hair, like I say, it's got a double whammy on the dryness factor. And on top of that, the heat will just intensify that even more. I like my curly hair better. My hair has thinned out. I think that just comes with age. And I don't want to do anything to make it thin out any more than necessary. So I just kind of keep it washed in twists. And I don't wear it down that much because it's just so hot. And like right now here in the summer where I live, every day is about 90 to 100 degrees. So the last thing I want to look at is a wig, a hot comb, I mean a flat iron, not a hot comb, a wig, a flat iron, a hat. I want to be able to do something where I can just wear my hair. And because it's still going to be hot just doing that. So I'm not going to add anything to this heat that I'm already experiencing. And then on top of sweating too, if I did flat iron my hair, it's just going to sweat right out before I get to the last section. I'm already puffing up on this side, and this side I'm just finishing. It's pointless for me right now. So I don't even rock that boat. Now I also want to talk about in some future Energize and Moisturize segments, I want to talk about dealing with gray hair. The more gray hair you get, you know what to expect. Kind of like that book, What to Expect When You're Expecting, but what to expect when you're going gray. Or not so much to expect, but what I'm experiencing, because I can't speak on anybody but me. But I think that would be some fun topics to talk about, because I see a lot of you youngins out there, you got that one strand of gray hair. I remember them days. I had that one strand. You know, he just hung around for a minute, said hi every now and then. A few times I told him he had to leave. He left, but then he came back uninvited. And then he started bringing some friends with him. And then the next thing you know, he's just like, you know what, I'll come when I feel like it. So I feel like talking about gray hair, especially gray natural hair, is definitely something I want to talk about in future vids. So as you can see, I've pretty much used up all of this. Since this is all I have left, I just want to go ahead and use this jar so I can throw it away. And then I'm going to put my wrap on. I need this piece. That's kind of a lot. That's why. Then I can put my wrap on. My thermal wrap. And let it deep condition. This piece wants to be somewhere else. Well, it's going to be here for now. Then I can let it deep condition. And then I will just rinse it out and put it back in some twists until I have a reason to do more. But in the meantime, guys, it's been really fun chit-chatting with you. If you made it to the end of this video, then I hope you got something out of it and didn't feel like it was a waste of your time. And if you have something to share, I would love to hear it. If you have a talent that needs to be nurtured, please nurture it so the world can enjoy it. And when I say the world, I don't mean everybody, but so that people who would enjoy it can enjoy it. That's a part of having the talent. It doesn't always have to work against you. Everything doesn't have to be bright lights, diamonds in your eyes kind of thing. It can be a talent that can bring joy to a lot of people in places you would least expect. And you will find that the reward is into all the people who would be so grateful to you for sharing your talent with them. Okay, so that's it. And as far as this moisturizing and energizing, I try to moisturize my hair 2 to 3 times a week. So every time I sit down to do it, I'm going to try to record it. You know, if I don't do it every time, I'm still doing it even if I don't record it. But the reason I want to do this is because I know, like I say, a lot of people don't do it as often as they should. So I want you to do it with me and let me help you get on track and develop a good habit of keeping your hair moist, because the more that you do it and the more regularly that you do it, your hair is going to respond to it and you're going to feel a difference in your hair. And like this used to be my roughest area back up in here. It still is, but it's not as rough as it used to be because I'm giving it regular attention. So moisturizing your hair on a regular basis, you're not allowing the worst case scenario to fully take over your head. And like if your hair dries out because you don't moisturize it as often, and it's been 2 weeks now, you haven't really put in the moisture like you should have, and well, at the end of those 2 weeks, and then you moisturize it, you go another 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that drying is intensifying even more. You want to be able to offset that by regularly moisturizing so it doesn't get to a worst case scenario. Like if you have a headache and you feel a little throb and you feel it coming, go take an aspirin so you can knock it out. Versus, and I'm not suggesting using, because I don't like to use medication unless it's absolutely necessary, but if I know, okay, I can see this is about to get pretty bad if I let it, then I don't let it get full blown and then now I go try to take an aspirin, because now I still got to deal with the consequences of letting it get full blown, when I could have eliminated a lot of the trauma by taking it when I first noticed that it was going to be a problem. So you want to look at keeping your hair moisturized like that. When you feel that it's dry, sit down and go take a moment and just put some moisture on it. So that's what I'm going to be doing, and we're going to be moisturizing and energizing our soul and our hair at the same time. And if you guys like this video, if there's any topics that you would like me to talk about in the next one, let me know in the comment section. I'll be more than happy. Now, I know I'm just a person just talking off the side of my head. I do know a few things, but I don't know everything. But I love sharing and talking and starting dialogue on some positive stuff. And we can take any negative and turn it into a positive. That's what I like to do. I don't like to focus on drama and enhance the drama. I like to throw some water on it and put it out. Put the fire out, because life is too short to be tripping and going back and forth with each other, and I didn't like how she did this or did that. I'm not about all of that drama, but if we want to talk about some negative things and put a positive spin on it, I'm all for that, because we need to just enjoy each other and to enjoy life, and we have so much that we can learn from each other if we just focus on the positives. So that's what I want to try and do. Focus on the positives. I'm still scraping stuff out of here because I'm about to put my wrap on. So I will see you guys in the next video where we will energize and moisturize. And I gotta tell you, even though I haven't even put my thermal cap on yet, my hair definitely feels energized. Now we're gonna let the moisture kick in. So you guys have a great day, and I'll see you, let me get my gloves off, and I'll see you, hold on, in the next video. Bye bye.